folks, what's up? It's Lara Red here again, this time with a Destiny 2, well, this is a review actually. They recently released the final shape, which we have been waiting for over 6 months. That wait was grueling, I will not lie to you, it was so grueling. Now we know how humans feel like when elves say, oh, it will just be a few moments of our time. Yeah, 100 years later. Anyway, we're not here to diss elves today. Today, I'm here to actually review the final shape generally. I'm gonna be extremely honest. I was not expecting Bungie to pull this off this hard. And I'm not one of those people who does, oh, surely they would be better next time. Surely they'll do this, that, and that. I'm not one of those bandwagoners. But if I didn't give a review of this, it almost feels rude as to how good it is. It really does. I mean, there's a whole new location, story, subclass, which personally I wouldn't call a subclass, but whatever. There's just a lot to unpack, and I just couldn't leave it alone. So, without further ado, without waffling, let's get into it. What did I think of the final shape so far? Before we dive in, I'd like to give a little bit of warning. I've tried my very, very best not to include any spoilers in my footage, but some spoilers were unavoidable. So if you still haven't played the story or anything and you don't want to be spoiled, I would recommend avoiding my video for now because I can't guarantee I won't spoil you. Alright, so they changed a lot of things about general gameplay and stuff like that during this expansion. It's a lot to unpack, and sadly I wasn't able to capture footage of everything. I was kind of pressed for time because I was quite busy the same week it released actually. So they changed a lot of things like of course no legendary shards, which I kind of don't feel the loss of that. But they also raised the power cap. They also changed the bounty system, the Pathfinder. I've seen a couple of people I play with say they don't really like it. They preferred when you could go around looking for bounties. For me, I never liked going around looking for bounties. I found that actually quite strenuous. I feel with the Pathfinder, I can just check the list, see what I'm going to do, and then I can just run the activities and stuff like that. I much prefer that system, and I prefer spending my glimmer on other things other than damn bounties. So, that's one thing. The power cap grind, actually, it's not as painful as it usually is at the start of the season sometimes, because the last time they did a whole power unification, I guess I could call it, it was quite strenuous and you could really feel the pain of the grind. I did not like that time. So this one feels a little less impactful. So I'll give heads up, well, not heads up, but props for that. I guess heads up is not the right word for that one. But anyway, so that's about the systems in general, and that's like only 2 of the systems in general. There's still a lot that I haven't discovered yet, and I'm currently, at the time of recording, I'm currently in the process of still getting the rest of my subclass fragments, so I guess I'll learn as I go along. I'm still checking around the place, I'm still getting lost in caves and stuff like that, you know. It's a lot more fun than Neomuna was. It's like Neomuna, in the trailer, they showed this really awesome stuff. You could literally be swinging off the stuff. And then we get the crappy industrial side that's literally overridden with boxes and stuff like that. Crappy loading times, as every cyberpunk city seems to happen. Yeah. I don't think it would be fair to compare this to Lightfall because that's kind of an insult. So I gotta give them props for that. As for the location that this DLC brings, the Pale Heart, which is, spoiler alert, inside of the Traveler, I actually like the location. It's as I thought, one side is light, one side is dark. I think it's a nice fitting for the end of the Light and Darkness saga, and personally, of course, let it be said, I prefer the darker side because it's more fun. I like the location as a whole. There's a lot to explore, and I feel even when I've explored the whole of the area and I've done all the little side quests and stuff like that, I don't think I'm gonna get bored of it. At least I hope I won't get bored of it, because yeah, I enjoy it. I was watching the developer video about it, and I now see, now that I've seen, oh my god, now that I've seen sorry, now that I've seen it for myself, I kind of like the vibe that they've given the place. It's desolate, it's in ruins in one area, but on the other side it's still somehow blooming with life, but that life is getting twisted at the root. So yeah, I think they did very well with it. I'm not gonna lie, honestly. And also, it's just it, you know? If I was told to give a rating for the location, I couldn't give it 10 out of 10. 10 is too low. The new location isn't the only thing that came along in the final shape. There was also the main quest, which we'll get into now. Okay, if you're still with me up to this point, spoiler alert, this is footage from one of the missions. I tried to avoid spoilers, as I mentioned. I really wanted to avoid spoilers, but in order to capture some aspect of the story, this part was kind of unavoidable. So you can just swap off the screen if you want to just listen to it. Anyway, not to brag, but anyway, the story. Okay, I said I wasn't going to compare it to Lightfall, but let's just talk Lightfall for a second. What did we get in Lightfall? We got a cyberpunk city that had atrocious loading times at the first time. A cyberpunk city that was cluttered up. Okay, boxes everywhere. Okay, do those people not have a removal van system or something like that, or some weird transmat? I don't know. Okay, we got Strand, which is very nice. Cute green stuff, nice. Putting on threads and stuff like that, or rope darts and whatnot, but you know, it wasn't given in any awesome fashion. It was just, oh look, Strand on the street, pick it up. To top it off, we get Old Man Osiris barking at our ears so much that if I was to hear his voice again in that campaign, I really would want to get into the game, silence and squall his ass, and sit there and watch him disintegrate. I'm not joking here. He was freaking insufferable in that campaign. Terrible. And I just feel the campaign itself was complete, just filler content. Now, line up final shape. Final shape tells us where we're going, tells us what's at stake, shows us what's at stake. I mean, hell, we feel what's at stake. I'm gonna tell you this. A main quest where you are worried your immortal character or partially immortal character isn't gonna come back. That is a very good main quest. Not to mention the side quests where it really feels like you're out there cleaning up, not just doing the go talk to this person, go talk to that person, go kill this mob, go kill that mob. No. You actually go around, you stand around. Okay, your character doesn't talk much, which still, to me, is kind of I really wish our character talked much. I really wish our character was kind of, I don't know, sassy. I want my character to be sassy, you know? She's a hunter. I smell sass on hunters everywhere, but anyway, I guess we'll just have to deal with that as it comes. But yeah, I really hoped our character would talk more, but then again, I don't know. Maybe one day. But it actually felt like a story. You weren't having some old crone just barking in your ears about you needing more time. Like, it actually felt like it just felt correct. I really don't know how to describe it. It was a much more positive experience. It also didn't feel like a tutorial like Lightfall's campaign was, because it really was it. That was a Lightfall's campaign really was just a Strand tutorial. So all in all, I think the story outdid itself. And I mean, the side quests also outdo themselves. Sometimes they get a little bit repetitive of go and line up this symbol and that symbol and stuff like that, but the reward is worth it because you do find some interesting facts sometimes. So story-wise, I think they outdid themselves. And now is where I'm a little bit concerned, because at the time of recording, we still have 2 acts to go. I'm really hoping they don't screw up, okay? Because when something is this good, Okay, you gotta prepare for a mileage of bad stuff. So let's hope that they keep the trend going for now. And yeah, I really hope so. I was 100% impressed with the story. And another thing with the story as well, the banter was on key. I mean, the world apocalypse was coming, you know, and at least somebody found the time to make a few jokes. So yeah, again, I'm not gonna spoil it, but just please give it a chance. Just please give the story a chance, okay? The lights, the colors, the blue, the stasis, the vanishing step, the solar, the arc, the pretty colors. I get pretty war paint. I got powers that look like my skin. Who wouldn't want to play as an Awoken? Literally have stars rolling through our skin. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yes, Prismatic is the new quote-unquote subclass that came with the final shape expansion. I say subclass in quotes because it's basically a marriage of every subclass that we have in the game. The only drawback of it is that there's no healing, so there's no healing grenade like there is with Solar. So it's really it kind of is a kill them before they kill you kind of build, but it has made so many things possible. Like, I really hate Gear Falcons. I really hate Hunters Arc melee builds. I absolutely despise that kind of gameplay. Call me weird, call me nutty, call me skill issue, do whatever, but I despise that. And I absolutely hated Hunter's Strand Super. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was extremely disappointed when I saw that. So to have Prismatic unify all the subclasses you love, you can just pick and choose what aspects you use, what melees, what grenades, what supers. Even the arc super is quite impressive actually. I've really fallen in love with it actually. And that's a really strong term. I don't use that for everything. Only special things get that. And this right here is very special to me. Like Gunpowder Gamble when you're on stasis, or better yet, Gunpowder Gamble coupled with Arc Bolt nades. It can do some stuff. Ryo can run stasis, okay? And your melee final blows give you radiance or invisibility, whatever you need. Okay? And you can do all of that without having to swap subclass. It's quite convenient. Granted, it doesn't have everything that all the subclasses alone have. Like I said, there's no healing on the subclass. So you have to either depend on playing defensively or make sure your orbs of power heal you somehow, like with your add-ons and stuff like that. Or you just have to play smart and don't play foolish like I am in this footage. It's kind of a risky build, but I feel like once you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be too bad. But I'm not going to lie, Prismatic for someone like me, it's a godsend. Okay, it's a godsend. I'm free of wearing these annoying exotics because I find them boring, and I'm not gonna lie, I find quite a few exotics boring. I'm not a meta chaser, okay, generally. I'm not sure if you've noticed from my previous Black Desert Online videos, but I definitely do not play what's considered meta. I don't like it. It changes too often, and what could be useful now could be completely useful in 5 minutes or 5 seconds. I don't like that. I want something that I can take with me. If I need to adjust it, I can happily adjust it and it won't break completely. So when it comes to Destiny, I'm a little bit more flexible with Destiny because I can understand meta in Destiny. And if, for example, I don't raid often, so let's not use that. If I'm doing like a dungeon or something like that and I do need to have a meta spec, I would be happy to run that meta spec. I wouldn't be against it. But for things like general gameplays and stuff like that, when I'm just like doing strikes and even Gambit, I do not use meta. Okay, I mean, I don't do Gambit as much as I used to now because I'm starting to feel the effects of how abandoned it is, and it's actually pissing me off, I'm not going to lie. And I mean that. But I refuse to use the meta. So to have Prismatic just drop in my lap saying, you can be meta, or you can use aspects of the meta without using meta builds. Yes, please. And come on, it looks gorgeous. Okay, it looks wonderful. It looks shiny. I really like it. I've yet to try Titan. I've not got any interest in Warlock. I've got really sick of the Warlock fashion. I just got so tired of the robes. I know Warlock has some nice robes, but I don't care. It's boring. Too much nerd emote. It's boring. So yeah, for now, I want to learn the ropes with my Hunter, and at the moment I'm not sure I want to do too much commitment with my Titan right now because I'm still finding my bearings on my Hunter, so that might come at a later time. But as of now, I am really enjoying the subclass. I don't know if I can go back to the usual subclasses. The only one I probably would be Solar because for the healing and stuff like that, but even then, I really don't know. I really don't know. So I have to commend them for that because they've really given me something that's now my new favorite, my new main maybe. So yeah, I guess it's time now to go make people a little bit crazy saying, hey, don't you have an invisible build? Nope, I don't use Void, sorry. So what am I going to do with this new prismatic gem that's just dropped in my lap? I am definitely going to use it. I don't want to dominate the playing field. I really don't care for that kind of stuff. But I am definitely going to take this to dungeons. Well, of course, once I've built it properly, of course. I'm definitely going to take it to dungeons, strikes, a grandmaster if the situation allows. And that's if I like the strike list for this season. I guess you can call it this season, but yeah, I generally don't usually bother about the Conqueror title. I only did it last time because it was, well, technically easy. But yeah, if I've got a place to use Prismatic, where usually it'd be like a meta build like Void or Solar or something like that, I am definitely trying that out. Because if somebody needed Tether, for example, I can just run Tether and still run my Stasis Naze. You see where I'm going with this? It's a world of possibilities. I really like this kind of gameplay. And I feel that's something Lightfall sorely missed. I've not been playing Destiny for long. I mean, I say that I really think it has been a year now, but I wasn't around like for the older expansions like Forsaken and stuff like that. I definitely wasn't around for Beyond Light and stuff. The latest I was around was for the end of Witch Queen. So, end of Season of the Seraph. So, the only thing I have to go off of is Lightfall, because I was there for its release. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was very disappointed with it. There's a lot of things with Strand I was disappointed with. Neo Muna, to me, practically doesn't even exist. I mean, sure, I do a lot of did a lot of bounties there, because it was just easy, but it would always disappointed me as a location. It didn't click with me. So to have Final Shape just come in and throw that out of the water, it's actually very refreshing. I'm still a little bit apprehensive as to what comes after, but maybe I shouldn't focus on that. Maybe I should just enjoy what's here and what's now, because this is definitely it. Story-wise, I absolutely love the story. I absolutely have seen most of my favorite characters, and I'm actually surprised that Bungie didn't do what I thought they were going to do to the characters. So that's a win-win for me, because I don't usually like that usual story trope of the apocalypse ends all kind of thing. Like, dude, if the apocalypse ends everything, how are we supposed to fight it? That doesn't make any sense. So location-wise, I really like the Pale Heart. I really enjoy being inside of the Traveler, because I always wondered, what's inside of this thing? Okay, this thing that keeps spewing ghosts left, right, and center. What's inside of this? I genuinely asked myself that. What's in here? I always wanted to take a look inside. So to be here, this is kind of nice. It's probably one of my new favorite locations. Some places I much prefer over than others. Of course, I prefer the excuse me. I prefer the darker side rather than the light side. Well, hey, in fantasy games, I always prefer the darker powers. More fun. Can you judge me? But I prefer that side to the light side anyway because there's more scenery, the more pyramid structures and stuff like that. It's quite yeah, it's just a lot to take in. And also the mob designs as well. They're really fun, they're really annoying, but they are refreshing. Okay, Lightfall Shadow Legion, it just wasn't it. It was just reskin Cabal. Like, really, dude, why? Okay, it just so new mob designs, I'm all for it. New location, definitely. New subclass that gives everything in one bag, sign me the hell up. So if I was to give Final Shape a rating, I can't give it out of 10. I feel giving it a rating out of 10 is a tiny bit of an insult. While yeah, there could be a few things that could be a little bit polished, upon closer exploration of the Pathfinder system, I do realize that it does lack pinnacles. I feel that you shouldn't have to wait to get your pinnacles and stuff like that, because pinnacles are essential. But to me, the main thing about the Pathfinder is that I don't have to run around finding my bounties. For me, that's fine. We can refine that, hopefully. So yeah, I don't know. For me, this is a solid 100. 200 as bonus points for Prismatic, because that is gameplay I signed up for. It's a sandbox FPS MMO, if you will. Okay, the whole point is that we're supposed to grab something, put it together, and pray it works, and it does. Of course, there are just some things you don't do. We won't talk about that, I assure Horn. But in the general sense, I should just be able to go and find something out of my wardrobe, put it on, and say, oh, look at that, it works. And so I feel Prismatic really does do that. Again, granted, it doesn't have all of the aspects of the main subclasses, which is kind of fair, because if somebody still wants to play Void, or somebody still wants to play Arc or Solar and stuff like that, they should be able to, or even Stasis for that matter, they should be able to. Just having options is really nice. I like having options in a sandbox game, sorry. I do like to have options in a sandbox game. So that's my take on it. So I would definitely recommend Final Shape to peeps if they have the budget. I don't know if it will ever go on sale in anytime soon, because it's so soon after its release, but if it goes on sale, I would 100% recommend it. And yeah, just that really. So yeah, that's what I think of the Final Shape, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do, because it really is a blast. If you were there for Lightfall, this blows Lightfall out of the water. It blows it out of the universe, basically. So yeah. Alright then, well that's enough, otherwise I'm gonna start rambling, and I'm sure you didn't sign up for that. So until next time, take care of yourselves, enjoy, and see you then.